Alrighty, how's it going, everybody? 01 of 1, and it is the morning. And I have my monster right next to me because, man, my dreams last night were freaking crazy. Anyways, so I have to do things. And these things that I have to do are not, they're not easy to figure out. So, I have this door over here, right? And it's got its own little circuitry, right? Then I have this little guy right here, nuclear battery, that I want to use to power this and this, but I also wanted to look at all of the stuff in here. But here's the thing. If I connect this to the battery, while this side is connected to the side that's connected to the other side of the battery, I short out the wires. So I can't do that. So I have to figure out how to get this thing to work correctly while still allowing me to read this thing. So I think I was thinking about this last night, and then I went to bed, and of course, now that I've gone to bed and woken up, I feel like I have a solution, which is usually what happens to me, which is very strange, I know. But I think it's actually not that difficult. So our little, let's see, I'm going to need that. That's going to have to come out. Okay, hang on. Let me just set everything up first, and then we'll talk more. So that has to come out of there. Yes. Okay. And then we need this thing over here, except it has to be that way. Okay, so we have data on both sides, right? And then we have the data, main data, I guess, on the back side. So I don't actually know if this is the way this thing works, but we can put this over here, and then we can run this this way to connect in all of this stuff over here. Okay, so that'll still have all of this connected, but and then I can do this thing here. There we go. Okay, so I can still check out how much these things are producing through here. And then if I connect it to here. Okay, so then is that still going to work? Okay, I think that's still going to work. Okay. Now, can I pull from this in our little screw holder thing? Okay, so this is a cable analyzer. Does that show up? It does not. See, here's the problem, right? I want to be able to read off of this thing. But the only way that I can do that is if I connect it into here, but then if I connect it into here, this loses power whenever these things aren't on. So that's the issue that I'm running into right now. So I was hoping I could power it off of here and then read it through the top side here, but it looks like the top side is power only, even though it showed like the little data and power symbol there. So let me see, that's called a housing, right? Okay, so if we look at this, right? Power error setting. Okay, on required power. Okay, line number. Okay. Aha. Okay, so then the graphic is incorrect. We have only one data input and one power. Okay. So now, how do I get this thing powered and also be able to read off of it using this thing, especially when we're dealing with this generator stuff. And then all of this has to be reconnected into our main system over here. So I gotta go up and around again. I mean, I can just run this straight, right? Because right now I'm stuck in here, right? And that's not a good place to be. So we'll run this over to here as I did before. Oh no, that did the wrong thing. I need a curve, not a junction. There we go. There we go. Okay. Okay, so now this has to run past this, so it has to go to here. Okay. And then this gets a nice little curve, and it goes that way, and this goes straight this way, and then this has to go this way, so that way it's all connected. Okay. Now, this is connected to its own source, right, through that little transformer right here. So we have main power coming in, we have little power going out. Now, this is what I had connecting into the circuit housing before to make sure this remains powered at all times. But how do I get this thing to be powered and also be able to be read by this? That is the question. Because right now, these two sides are not talking to each other, and I can't pull data off of here. So that means that this is not going to work. Now, the way that I had this before is I had it connected in through here. Now, we also have these things called logic mirrors, right? Logic mirror. But, so I can connect this thing, right? And this, of course, has the 3 inputs. So I can connect this and set it with that little thing right there to our little cable analyzer, right? But that would mean I would need more space up here. And as you can tell by the temperature, with the pollutant in here instead, we get much colder than with just the NOS. And like I thought that I would need the NOS to bridge that gap between, you know, pollutants, whatever areas where it's not really usable, I guess. But apparently that's not the case. So with this should now be powered again. So I can get out if I need to. Okay. So if that is the only thing that I can do, is use that logic mirror for this piece in particular, because I think it only works for one thing. Well, then, okay, so with that, we can keep that powered at all times, which is what we want. And then, running this thing, this would have to run off of this circuitry here, which means we no longer need this. So we'll get rid of that, and we'll get rid of this. Okay. Now, I need to go and grab more stuff. So, yeah, this is not fun. Oh, and this thing doesn't need to be here, right? So I actually could just get rid of this completely because I'm not using it. And then, of course, that has to be taken apart from the outside because it has glass and has a little circuit in there. So, and then if I did that, I could move this over to here. But I can't do that right now because I need the door to work. Now we just have to wait for the pressure to go down. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so electrical stuff. We have analyzer, we have more kits. We can put this over here, I guess. Our little nuclear battery can go back into the charger. So that can go there. See, I need water, so it's a good thing I set that thing back up so I can get out of here. All right. Well, no, hold on. Now that I think about it, that logic mirror, that would have to go towards the transformer and each of the Stirling engines, because they're the things on the different circuit. Okay. And then this thing, this power connector, that's actually for a portable generator that you can't stick a battery in there. I thought for some reason you could stick a battery in there. It doesn't work like that. Oh, and I put in pieces of an elevator as well. The only problem is it doesn't work, so that's fun. So here's my elevator, except I can't open it because there's no thing to... Like, there is no platform in here for some reason, so when I built it, no platform. How does that work? I don't know. But apparently that's what happened. So I'll have to figure out that thing as well. We have that working. Okay. Right, logic mirror. Nope, that's not what I wanted. This comes in the logic I/O kit. Okay. Do I have some of those? I do. I have 5 of them. Excellent. Okay, so let's hop back in here. Wait, before I do... No, I'm still good on my tanks. Okay. Alright. So, it's now negative 25 in here, which is good. That means that our cooling system is working very, very well. And we could actually drop this down, probably even farther, to negative 60, and we'll just kind of see what happens. So this is like taking the bulk, I guess, of the heat out, and then this is just kind of topping it off. And then since I have this output area thing going down into our, you know, huge radiator section that I put down there, it seems to be working pretty well. Okay. So now, oh right, I had to take that thing apart from the outside. So we gotta wait for this thing to drop back down again. Okay. Take another drink of Monster. Was that annoying? Did it make you thirsty? Okay, so this thing I no longer need. So let's take that apart. Alright, and then this thing can get tossed because that's not going to be good for anything anymore. My voice is really, really deep right now. But I'm okay with that. Okay, so we have our console, which I don't need, I don't think. We have some glass over here. Good. And then, let's see, we need to throw this thing into here because it is crap. Alright, now that needs to go over here. Good. Alright. And now I have to figure out all the rest of this. So I have wall space, right? So I can do things. We're at negative 27 in here right now. Very, very cold. Alright, so I kind of want to move this over, right? And we can move this down or up as necessary. We just need to fit everything in here. So I'm thinking, because I'm going to need this stuff to be on the side anyways, we'll put that over there and we'll just kind of move this around. So that goes, that goes, that goes, that goes, and that goes. And And then we'll set this up here, and then we'll do some of these to go up. How high up do I want to go? I could go all the way up to the top, right? And then just kind of, I don't know, fit everything I can within this space. Oh, but I can't. I mean, I could do it like this, right? Yeah. And then this goes like, nope, down, good. And then we can get rid of this and get that in there and then get rid of this. Okay, so that gives us quite a bit of wall space to use. Good. So, first things first, I have to put down my housing. And I gotta figure out how to get all this thing to work. So that's gonna be fun. That can go there, and that can go there. Okay. And then I need you to go here. Okay, so here's the data part, right? All right. So if I need this logic mirror, okay, so we have data in, data out, and power. So I'm thinking this has to go this way. All right, so let's do this. And then hopefully this will allow me to keep these circuits separated. Whoops, Control Shift to go back. Oh, is that not a thing? Oh, there we go, Shift and C, okay. All right, so now this thing is probably gonna need that, along with this. And then we can set this thing down here to feed that side. Okay. Now, for the logic mirror, that has to be fed from over here. And this is just the data in, right? So that goes there. All right, and then that goes there and there. Okay, so now I can pull the power analyzer normally. So let's do that first. Oh, and I have to set this thing up too. So that has to go to the transformer. Okay, and then I have to name this. Let's see, mirror transformer. Now, this will only let me, I think this will only let me read from it. It won't let me write to it. So that's going to be an issue as well. Unless I put in a logic writer over here. But then how do I interface an IC circuit with logic circuits? I don't know. Well, actually, the only thing we really need to read is this, right? The cable analyzer. And I can already do that from over here. Not exactly sure how to do this, actually. Because I need to be able to write to all of these things, right? And I want this to turn on and turn off by itself. So if it's turned off and I want it to turn on, that means that this has to have power. But if this is turned off, I have no power in here apart from this, but this is on a different circuit. So how do I get this to work? Yeah, so I think, fairly certain anyways, that a logic mirror just allows me to write, or sorry, to read. I don't think it allows me to write. And I need it to write. Let me see. Let's see what good old Stationeers wiki says. Stationeers logic mirror. Okay. So if we go down to the mirror. Okay, so it says the logic mirror. Wait, hold on, let me pause the game real quick. Wait, no, was it paused already? No, now it's paused. Okay. The logic mirror is reading all data from its target device. The target device is set by the screws on the logic chip. Okay, so I already did that. Its purpose is to easily read a device in another network. The logic mirror itself is seen as the logic chip, and it needs to be read with a logic reader as if it was a device. Writing and reading is possible writing and reading is possible as if the target device itself is present on the logic network. And then if the logic mirror is not powered, it will not return any data. So I'm reading the example, and it says you have a gas sensor in network 1 and want to read ratio nitrogen, ratio pollutant, ratio volatiles, and ratio water into network 2. Without the logic mirror, 4 logic readers are needed. If you later also want to access pressure and temperature, 2 more logic readers are needed. Writing something to a device would require additional logic writers. Okay. With the logic mirror, only one single logic mirror is needed. If you later want to access pressure and temperature, you can do it without any new logic chip. Writing something to a device is also always possible. Connectors are on the left, a mirrored device connection to the other network. And then the top is the power connection, takes 10 watts. The right is the data input-output from the network using the data from the other network. Network using data from the other network. But how do you... Okay, so if we have a data in and we have a data out... Well, no, we have a mirrored device connection in, and then a data input-output on the other side. And that's all it gives me. So if I'm pulling from this, right, and I have this thing set up to this, I can pull whatever information is in here. But it's only going to pull it out of here. And then whatever data I want to set, I don't think that goes the other way. And then if I have just the power here, then I can't read. And if I had this like on this circuit here, this side on this circuit, then I couldn't read anything off of this circuit, which kind of defeats the point. So I mean, the only other way that I could do it is to have a writer here and then constantly be switching the parameters of the writer up here so that way it can write to all the devices on this network. And then that would need the data in and the power over here, and then the data output would go over here. So I don't even know if that's a thing that I can do. So that would have to go like this, right? So we have our data output going to the bottom, which would then be connected into here. And then we would have to modify all of the parameters of this thing via that up here in order for that to write properly to what we want it to write to. But this is the only way that I can think of. Wait, no, I need this. There we go. This is the only way that I can think of to read and write from a separate network from this network, which is insane. But I mean, if it'll work, I mean, then I'm good. But I just have no idea if it's gonna work or not. Okay, so I suppose we can set up all of our stuff. So this is going to be our cable analyzer. I think that's the right one. I probably have to rename this in case there's others. Okay. Boom. Room. Okay. Now we'll check that and to make sure that it's got the same name. Good. Okay. And then the next thing that I need it to pull from is this logic mirror. And I have to pull off of these as well to figure out how much is being produced. Well, no, I could do that off of here, I think. Yeah, so I don't think I need to control these except for the on-off. And then that would require a batch writer, I guess. I mean, unless I named these things like 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Confirm. And of course, if you guys know a better way to do what I'm attempting to do here, let me know. Be more than happy to read what you got. All right, so I have to set the parameters to this thing electronically, which is going to be interesting. And I can't do that. These all have to be set manually. Well, that's cool. So then this isn't going to work. I was hoping I could like set this thing manually, but the only options that it's got here that even could be set, but I mean I could look it up. Let's look it up. Let's go here and look at the writer. Force write is on, and force write are the only things that we can write to. Everything else would have to be set manually. Okay, so that's not going to work. Okay. What is another thing that I could do here? There is the transmitter. So the logic transmitter. So this is the other option that I potentially have. So let's look this up on the wiki. Let's see, logic transmitter. Alright, so the logic transmitter are used to transmit values in a logic network wirelessly. Logic transmitter starts in passive mode and can be tied to active transmitters, as well as a few other things. While tied to anything but another logic transmitter, it basically acts like a logic mirror, except from a far distance. If you set the logic transmitter to active, you can write to the setting variable on it to transmit that value to one or multiple logic transmitters that are tied to it in passive mode. You tie a passive logic transmitter to an active logic transmitter by adjusting the screws until they match each other. Let's see. Let's see, there is no limit to the distance at which two devices can connect. The logic transmitter has 3 data input ports and 1 for power. Due to the fact that when the logic transmitter is inactive, I think mode is what they need to have in there, is used to mirror a signal from another logic transmitter, seems that all of the 3 input ports are not necessary on the same network because they are all output or input, but can be used for sharing the same value in different networks without mixing logic networks and or having to build many logic transmitters for receiving the same value. And then I used this before in my Moon playthrough when I built my timer circuit, and I had to transmit that timing particular piece of it to another place. So it worked fine. Like, it did exactly as I expected it to. But I think this isn't going to work either. Okay, so let's think about this. I need to have this connected, well, to all of this, but at the same time, see, now here's the other thing too, right? If I had my little nuclear battery thing in here, and I had that powering things in here, it would transmit whatever power was in there through this transformer if this transformer was on. And then I think it'll do that even if the Stirling engines are on. It'll still try to pull power from here to make sure this thing can transmit properly. You know what we need in this game? Well, I mean, they're called MOSFETs, so it's, I'm trying to remember what it's called. MOSFETs, transistors, yeah, we know that. What is it called? Oh, there you go. So metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor. All right, so basically what we can do is we use a little power, like from here, to open or close a switch on big power, right? So if I had that, then I could have a FET, or MOSFET, whichever you would prefer, that is set to not be active unless these things are on. And then I could take this thing to power this while these things are generating. And then on the back side, that would have to be connected to everything, which means that it's going to go through the transformer. But if these things are actively powering that, I mean, how would that still burn something up, or would the MOSFET protect it? It's a good question. I'm not sure. Let me see. Another option I could potentially do here is to throw a full-on battery in here. But I think that might still have the same issues, where we would be connecting the input and the output of the battery to the same thing, which would then burn it out, or burn out some of the wires because you're going to be pushing way too much current through there. So I don't know. I think I'm probably stuck. Because I know what I need to do, I just don't know how to do it within the constraints of the game. And then this thing is still working well. This should be at, what, like 50 degrees or something? Ooh, 39 degrees. So it's doing even better. Excellent. All right. So, I mean, we dropped the temperature down quite a bit. So that's good. And then I'm thirsty again. So I don't know how to set this thing up. Because I can't connect these two circuits, right? Because the power coming through here is going to burn up these wires. And then the other thing why I need two circuits in here is because these things always need power. And then the only time, well, I mean, I suppose they don't always need power, but I need to make sure that in this space right here, it maintains its pressure. Because then when I start pushing through here, if I turn that on the same time as this thing, we're going to have some inefficiencies until this thing can keep up. Which, maybe not the end of the world, but like, how do you get this thing to work like with a generation situation here? And especially if we're pumping everything back out through a transformer. I don't know. This is a conundrum. I feel like I'm gonna have to do some, and then I don't know. We'll turn this thing on. So we get up to 100% efficiency pretty quickly, which is great. And then you can see the hot side temperature is increasing, but the cool side temperature is staying the same, which is great. Okay, so we are putting out 4.1 kilowatts, which I think is max. So we'll turn this thing on. And then now we're pulling all of this lovely power from there and pumping it out into the batteries. Well, this thing is just kind of chucking along there, so that's great. So yeah, I could get slightly more power out of this if I went with volatiles in here. I think that would give me 15%. So that would be another 3%, which, you know, technically that would be an extra 25% power generated, because we'd be going from, actually, would that be? Yeah, that would be an extra 25% power. So that would be 5,000 watts from here if I used hydrogen or volatiles, whatever you would like to call it. Maybe I should do that, actually. You know what? I'm going to try that. So we have... I'm going to have to remember how much power I have in here. So this is going to have to go into volatiles. And we'll take this one too. Alright. And then we'll try updating the working gas, and we'll see if that makes a difference. My guess, it probably will. And I think we will get up to about 5,000 kilowatts. But we'll leave just that one thing working, and then it's putting out, you know, quite a bit of power right now, so that's great. And then we have to let this thing, or these things, heat up. Because right now they should be very, very cold. Okay, so I don't think I have a setup over here for volatiles. In fact, I'm fairly certain that I don't. Could I make one? Yes. But I don't think I want to put it here, because this is like all of my main stuff, right? Like, this is the stuff that I need to live. This is my jet fuel. And this is just storage for nitrous oxide that we pull out of here. I probably should have this going into a tank, like a large tank, but maybe we'll do that in another video. But I could put it kind of in this area because we have a lot of space back in here. So let's see, we're gonna need, and it's got to get powered too, so I got to keep that in mind. Well, I have to make the parts first, right? Okay, so let's take this slowly. Okay, so these I don't need, they're just using up space. So those are my two smart liquid canisters that are fully vacuum empty. I don't need these either. So that will go there. The logic IOs we're going to put over here for now. Okay, so that gives me space. Good. And then this is going up. I'm hoping. 1.6. 20, yes, okay. So we are charging, which is great. And we haven't used any of our coal yet, which is also great. Also, are you active right now? Yes, you are. Okay, so we'll turn you off. All right. All right. Let's hop back out here. So this should be going up quite a bit faster now, because we should also have the solar chipping in, so that'll be good. Okay, so I'm gonna need, do I have the pieces and parts for this? That's a liquid volume pump, liquid regulator, I don't need that. What I need is a gas regulator. Do I have one over here? Digital valve, volume pump. I don't have a regulator. Okay. All right, so let's just make all the things that we need. So regulator, we'll make one of those. And then once we have that, I'm going to need to make one of these things. And then that's also going to need some amount of power. So just making sure that I have enough. I think I do. Okay, so we're going to put this regulator here. No, regulator. We want that to go that way, which is good. And then we want this to go upwards. And then we want this to go into here. Well, actually, hold on. Let me put this thing on here first. So that we can put here. And then this all needs to be, you know, color coordinated, painted, whatever you'd like to call it. Okay, so that goes there. And then I need the power. I think I can make this work. If I put a couple of curves in here, I think it will work. So if I do, no, corner, there we go. So we do this thing over here, we do another corner over here, it kind of weaves in and out between everything. And then we just need that to go there. Okay, now that has power, good. And then, let's see, what are these things set to currently? So if I, hold on, let me get this out of here, get this out of here. We'll set this down so it can heat up, and then we'll set this one down so it can also heat up. There we go. And then while that's waiting, I'll go and get some paint. Oh, wait. Oh, no, wait. Okay. So the reason why I wanted all of that, why are you at 18? You're very nearly too full there, sir. So let me just empty this out real quick. No. Okay. I'll put that back in there. Okay, and that'll get it lower. Yeah, so it should be sticking around 17,500. I don't know why I went above that. But it is what it is. All right, so then that's It's going through all the nitrogen, and I have water and steam in here. Interesting. Okay, and then that is hopefully not enough to break the pipes here. All right, so the reason why I wanted to set these things out is because they're currently very, very cold, right? So in order to figure out what these things were set at before, I could either refer to an old video, which means I would have to figure out which video and then watch through the video until I find the part in the video that will tell me what I set these things to, or I just have them, you know, heat up. Why does that one have oxygen in there? They both have a little tiny bit of oxygen in there. That's not good. I mean, it's not bad, but, you know, not good. And then as you can see, as the temperature is going up, the pressure is also going up. I think it might have been 2500 is what I had these things set to. So all right, so that will be that, and then we'll go ahead and paint these. Okay, so that is good, and we just dumped a little bit of pollutant into the room, but that's fine. All right, and then these both can be evacuated. So we'll throw this here, and we'll empty that one out. Oh, and you don't need to be on anymore. Oh, and I have to paint these things too. That's right. Well, I mean, I can paint this one right now. I'm going to wait until this thing pulls a full vacuum. Because I don't want this to mix up any of the gases and give me a less efficient thing. I want pure volatiles if I can. Okay, now we're in the centimoles. And once we're down out of here, we'll go into the millimoles. And then after that, we'll have a full vacuum. There we go, full vacuum. Okay, so that can go here, and then this can be painted. Okay. And then we'll take this thing over here. Oops, too far. There we go. So that goes there. This is set to 25. That can now be pressurized. Good. And then we'll just watch this thing until it is completely empty. Not really too much action in this particular episode. All very, very, a lot of talk. Very little action. Hopefully you guys don't mind, though. And I feel like the Jeopardy song should be playing right now. Do 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 do. I have no idea if that's copyrighted or not, so I probably shouldn't hum it. Because then, you know, Jeopardy might try to claim this show as their own and steal all of my profits from it. I doubt that. Like, I'm nowhere even, like, I don't even know if this video is going to make any money, so it's whatever. But best not to risk it, right? Now we're down into millimoles, and that should be the end. Good. All right. So that can go there, and then, whoops, you need to go back in there. All right, good. Okay, so let's see how this is doing. We are at 2.5. There we go, perfect. And then we'll throw this one in here. Yeah, 2.503, that's pretty close, right? All right. And then the other cool thing is, because I have this little pipe section in here, and I think this housing can house a little bit of gas too, we can pre-pressurize this with 2.5, and then when I put in this, like, it immediately puts all of that into the canister and then just pumps up to whatever else is needed. 8, 9, and 2,500. Good. All right. So that is our 2 new working gases, and we still have to do the third one, so it'll be fine. And I'm not sure the like how this works, because I know that this pressure in here has to it correlates with the pressure in here, right? So we'll put that one in there, and then we'll put this one in here. Okay, we're at -9 in here. Okay, so that is now off. I'm going to turn this one on, and we'll see how much power it makes. So working gas efficiency is now 15%. Internal pressure operating efficiency is also pretty good. Now, if I were to drop this down to 2,700, does that change our pressure? Operating pressure. I think it's just chucking along, man. And I'm looking at the internal pressure differential efficiency and seeing when that drops. And I'm thinking it's got to be fairly soon. But, oh, 4.63. Okay, so it wasn't the 5 kilowatts that I thought, but it's not terrible either. Okay, so can I make this thing go up? There we go. So we'll put out as much as we can, and then whatever is left over, I would love if I could take whatever's left over and throw it into a battery in here. But the thing is, like, it's so cold in here that the batteries won't hold their charge very much. Okay, so that is still at 100%, so that's good. Let's drop this down again. Okay, so now we drop down. Okay, so then with hydrogen at 2.5 in here, if we run this at 2.4, the pressure in, so that way it completely equalizes the pressure that we've got inside of here, or at least what we had in there at the beginning, then we get our 100% efficiency there. And then the environmental operating efficiency has to do directly with the temperature in here. So that's at 99%, which means we're still doing pretty good. But in reducing how much really hot gas we're pushing through here, I think that reduces the amount of heat that we dump into the room. So with that, and we know that it works fairly well at 100% and 2,400 kilopascals, we can drop this down to 24. Now, I don't know if, let's say I were to put like 5,000 in there and then change this to 5,000, if it would produce more power. I don't know. I'm not sure how that correlates, but if you want this to operate efficiently, you need a cold room that is at high pressure. And then you need, once you have that high pressure, of course, you need the pressure in your canister to equal the amount of pressure that you're pushing into here. And then if those equalize, it seems you get 100%. And the trick with this is trying to keep those things at 100%, right? Because your working gas efficiency is immediately going to drop your power production to whatever, you know, percentage your working gas is, right? So, if you can keep your environmental operating efficiency at 100% and your internal pressure differential efficiency at 100%, then you are maximized with the amount of power that you can pull out. I think. Now, what I could do is take this one and put it up to 5,000 and see if that does like a different amount of power, or if it does less, or if it does more. And it looks like this guy took a little bit of damage too. Huh. I'm talking about the canister down at the bottom. It's got a little health bar on there. Okay, so we're putting out a decent amount of power, which is good. And then the question is, how much do we need to keep our percentages at 100%? It's a good question. I don't know. Okay, so that can go there. And then that has to empty out first before we can fill it back up. But I'm going to set this thing to 5,000. And we'll give that a try, and we'll see kind of how it works with all of the pressures and stuff. And then this thing, of course, needs to drop down quite a lot. So we will watch it and drink our monster. Now, it says that it's at 2 kilopascals, 1 kilopascal. So it will say 0 soon, but I think once it says 0, we'll find that it actually still has gas in there. Yeah. So you can't just go off of what this thing says when it's at 0 kPa, because that's only in kilopascals. We have centi in millimoles or whatever, or just regular pascals. So it's not completely empty when you see that, so you got to leave it in there a little bit longer. I wonder what the battery is set up. Okay, wow, we've used 47% of a nuclear battery in this thing so far. Nice. Okay. All right, so that can go here. And then we want to paint it, right? Good. All right, so there's that. Good. And we're going to put 5,000 in here. And we're going to see what kind of power we can get out of this. And I probably should have turned off that Stirling engine so that way the room can cool down some more. But it's fine. And then by reducing the amount of pressure that I have going into there from the hot stuff, I think that reduces the amount of heating that goes on too. So if you can get the maximum amount of pressure going in that has the least, well, I suppose the minimum amount of pressure that gives you the maximum amount of power, then I think that works a little bit better. But the reason why this is called the boom room, well, not the room that I'm in, but the room where the Stirling engines are in, is because if the pressure inside of those Stirling engines ever reaches 11K, they blow up. Like, just straight up blow up. No warning, nothing. Just blow up. So that's why I went with the 2,500 kilopascals, or megapascals, 2.5 megapascals. Because at least then, even if the power jumps up to 4 times, or the pressure jumps up to 4 times what's inside that little canister, we're still good. Okay, so we are very nearly at 5,000. Good. Okay. get to go into here and see how it all works. And then we're going to get blown back. Yep. All right. So we're going to put 5,000 in here. We're going to turn this guy off. We're at 0 degrees C in here right now. Okay. So we're going to try turning this thing on, and we're going to see what... Okay, so we are at 100%. Okay. We got to 100% really, really quickly. So if we drop this down to 2,000... And then also how much power? 4.81? Okay. So we... Wait, it's dropping down now. Okay, so we're at 100%, 100%. Okay. So let's drop this down. Still at 100%. Okay, drop it down. Oh, now we're 97%. Okay. So we'll bring it back up. Okay, so with 5,000 at 0 degrees, we need 1,900 kilopascals input. And that gives us 6 megapascals inside of here. Now, I wonder, is the temperature in here dropping or rising? It is raising, or rising, but not very quickly. Okay. And then at 5,000, we're only producing 4.57. Okay. So if I were to check... Let me just see what's going on here. So now, are we dropping? Yeah, now we're dropping. Okay. We're actually dropping fairly quickly. You know, for what I've got set up in here so far, it's pretty quick. Okay, so then with this, so this was at 2,500, but we increased the temperature inside of here. So if we take a look at the temperature of this, let's just kind of set it down real quick. That should be fairly hot, right? Yeah, okay. So we'll put that back in there. It'll be fine. Okay. So here, with 2,500 starting pressure, when we turn this on, and we're at 100% of our efficiencies, okay, we're putting out 4.61, which is roughly the same, but our rate of temperature increase seems to be about a 100th of a degree every tick. Okay, so that's fairly quick. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna try 7,500, and we're gonna see how that goes. Now, 7,500 is getting very, very close to that 11,000 cutoff, so we'll see how it goes. And I think 7,500 is going to be about the limit of how high I can go. And I really would prefer not to blow up, you know, the thing. So let's change this up to 7,500, which is making me nervous just thinking about it. How are we doing on our levels here? So we have 24 megapascals of fuel. That's cool. Everything else looks to be okay. Even our pollutants is actually okay. Slowly going up. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with our numbers here. That's pretty good. Especially that. That's really, really good. In fact, it's so good, I feel like sending our rocket up for more ice. And then I should probably get something to drink first. So let me do that. And actually, before I do that, let me swap out this battery. There we go. Okay, so console is good for another half a year, game year. Because, I mean, I use that console so freaking much. It's just ridiculous. Okay, good to go. Oh, and we're past an hour already. You know what? I'm going to end it here. And we will check out what the 7500 kilopascals it does inside the Stirling engine. So that'll be it for this video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. And if you have, hope you'll join me for the next one. But until then, have a good one.